Sam!
Oh, John.
What's a girl like you doing in a place like this, huh?
Oh, looking for my long-lost cousin.
Oh.
Yep. He fell off a bridge when we were just kids.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Into the water. We all thought he was dead, but no body was recovered. Now I've heard word that he was around these parts.
Oh.
Somebody matching his exact physical description, so here I am. Hey,
Uh,
man, you asked.
You
asked
you're right,
me.
You're right. I'm just here to do a podcast, so maybe I was thinking we could do that instead. I get your brother or cousin is a big issue.
I can do that later.
Okay, alright, yeah, cool. Let's do this in the meantime then.
Okay. Hey, welcome back to Sam and John's Book Club.
Sam and John's Book Club.
That is what this is. We are reading through Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanderson. Love your work.
Thank you, Brando Sando. Praise be unto him.
We just finished part 1 of book 2 of the Stormlight Archive.
Yes.
And man, some stuff is going down.
Yes.
At the end of book 1, I kept talking about, and especially in those last couple of episodes, how much I was just loving it. Oh man, It was going off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
This part was a little bit less fun for me.
I thought it would be a little more crazy based on the chapter names. It wasn't quite as crazy, but it was still...
I agree. Some of the there was a chapter called Walking the Grave, and I don't think anything interesting really happened in that one, did it?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Really.
All right. Okay.
Let's jump into it.
I'm just gonna read. I always read the beginning of chapter things right out loud to you. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
The sign on the wall proposed. Wait, I'll do it in Navani's voice.
Oh yeah.
The sign on the wall proposed a greater danger even than its deadline. To foresee the future is of the Voidbringers.
Is that...
Bum 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 bum.
Was there like an accent in that voice? I couldn't really tell. It seemed like...
It's subtle, John, because real people, John, the accents they're not always off the wall.
Right,
Sometimes they're just subtle little
Yeah,
things.
I feel like you were doing like a little scratch and sniff British accent there,
Okay. That feels demeaning somehow. Yeah, so to foresee the futures of the Voidbringers, this is something that was brought up in the first book when Yalb was gambling in Carbranth, remember? And Shallan briefly explained to us that to see the future, gambling was like kind of towing that line. It's against Vorinism.
Yep.
And it was also explained to us when they were talking about the Storm Guessers,
Watchers,
whatever their names are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to foresee the futures of the Voidbringers, and these, counting down to a deadline is clearly predicting the future.
Yeah.
But does that mean they're not allowed to do like advent calendars because they're guessing when Christmas is? Or
I don't know if Christmas is a thing in this world exactly.
I guess if it's a known event, well, fine, people's birthdays then.
Right, sure.
Are you not allowed to say it's my birthday next week? Because people are like, well, we think that, but are you God or something?
How do you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Can I look forward to anything? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kaladin's talking about how the break-in is very concerning to him, but Dalinar seems oddly unconcerned with it. He's asking Syl, could it have been a spren? And she's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, could be. Meanwhile, Elokar releases that proclamation that all the gem hearts are going to be secured by like a rotational system of 2 armies at a time. And that ruffles some feathers as intended. Like
Dalinar said, he was going to take away their games, and then he did. Yep. So, check and check.
Yeah.
We get actually a little bit from Sadeas's point of view.
Oh, yeah.
And his wife has, I guess, inserted some spies all up in Dalinar's support staff, so we're going to have to remember that. Also, Syl has a part where she's like, why weren't you laughing? All of the other bridgemen were laughing. And Kaladin was like, ugh, I'm so edgy.
Right.
Nothing can ever really go good for me, so I'll never be happy. And I was like, Kaladin, you need to lighten up just a smidge, bro.
Yeah, I was like, things are going too well for Kaladin. He's not having it.
Exactly. Back when you were a slave, okay, you don't have to be
You got
happy.
a great excuse.
That's fair. But right now, things are legitimately all going really well for him. This is he's at a point right now where at the beginning of last book, he would not have in a million years predicted that his life was going this well. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, never.
And even despite that, he refuses to be happy about it. So.
Yeah. You ever had like a friend, probably back in middle school, that was like, "We can't be friends because I'll only hurt you," you know? I had a friend that said something similar to that. Not as overtly edgy, but they were like, "My life is too hectic for us to be friends, and I'm just gonna pull you down with me." And I was like, "Whoa, what? What do you mean?"
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's something that like happens for couples in young adult novels, right?
Yeah.
Someone says, we can't be together because everyone I love ends up getting hurt. You know.
This is kind of like that a little bit. Yeah.
That doesn't happen between just for friendships in real life. That's not a thing.
No, it was very weird. I was kind of like, well, okay, and then I don't think I've really talked to them much since. So, hope they're doing
all
okay.
right then. Yeah, jeez.
But this seems like that for Kaladin. He's like, nothing can go well for me, so I have to be a distant.
Yep. I have to be emotionally uninvested in just sort of everything. I guess. I don't know. So Sadia says his whole motivating factor is just that he really wants war and conquest, and I think this might all tie back into the thrill capitalized. So that's like his whole purpose in life, I guess.
Yep. Very Alethi Sadius, very on brand.
Yeah. It seems a little weird though that he's trying to get Dalinar killed at the end of last book, right? Because Dalinar was like, "Hey, let's legit do
Conquest
war
harder.
against these guys."
Yeah.
And Sadius kind of threw that right out. So
right.
I don't know. Yeah,
Sadius is he seems on the raggedy edge, just saying to me most of the time.
Yeah, Sadius also has a line. Well, he's like, oh, he's trying to lead and unite people or whatever, but he's going to fail. And his wife is like, what if he succeeds? And he's like, well, that's where your assassins come in. And we know that now Zeth is coming for Dalinar, and it sounds like there are assassins maybe inserted into Dalinar's staff by Sadius's wife.
Yeah, and who knows, some of the other high princes maybe.
So I just write the note, man, Calvadon's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not an easy thing he's been tasked with, keeping Dalinar alive.
Thank goodness you have a Radiant as a bodyguard, Dalinar, because, oh boy, you were in it.
Also, Kaladin's pessimism and Alakar's paranoia just mesh so well.
Oh, it's great, yeah. Yeah, he's like...
That was so funny, that little scene where he was like, oh, who's this dog? I don't recognize this man. Sure, he was like instantly suspicious of Kaladin.
Right, and he's like, we gotta post cards here, here, and here. We're never gonna let anything happen again. And Alucard's like, I like this one. Why didn't you tell me about him?
Yeah, Dalinar says, oh, there is no need to post anyone out on the balcony. There's no way to get onto the balcony, right? And Kaladin's like, all right, 2 guards on the balcony.
Yeah.
I just said there's no way to get out there, and Kaladin's like, which is why that's exactly where I would try to get in.
Don't make me say 3.
Yeah. Elhokar's like, ooh, why didn't you make this man a captain of the guard sooner?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny.
Right, and then Dalinar, I think at some point in this chapter, pulls him aside and he's like, Elhokar is very concerned about being assassinated, so keep it up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kaladin wants some free Elhokar points. I don't know if those are worth anything, but he has them.
Wacky bucks.
He also has the line a little bit in. This is during the meeting, which he's sitting in on.
Yeah.
I just expected the king to be less, whiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that sums up Elhokar's character really well.
It's like all the time when Navani is like, I love my son, but he sure isn't a good king, is he?
Yeah, he is just really bad, huh?
Yeah, and Kaladin just reads into that right away. So yeah, he gets to sit in on the meeting, which is kind of a big deal, I get, it makes sense for him to be inside the room when it's happening, but still, I was like, this is some, and he can't help but, speak up when he has an idea. I'm like, oh boy, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, Dalinar's just, implicit trust in and respect for Kaladin is just very cool. I really dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody else is always like, who can I trust? I have to keep so many secrets.
Yeah.
But when Dalinar is just like, hey Kaladin, I'm giving you my full trust. I'm giving you all the tools you need to succeed.
Right.
If you plan to keep, very important secrets, maybe Radiant-related ones from me.
Hey, that's your...
That's on you, dude,
deal.
right?
Yeah.
Dalinar's doing his best out here.
Right.
Also, dude, the way Michael Kramer narrates Elokar, it's like so like whiny and nasal. He's like, "But uncle, I don't want that to happen."
Oh my God.
It's like grating on your brain.
It's like the squirrel girl from Willy Wonka. That's how I picture his voice, almost. You know,
Which
the
Willy
girl
Wonka, the new one or the old one?
Really either. They're kind of the same in both. Where she's like, "Daddy, I want a squirrel."
Yeah, that's
like
actually similar. I would say that's a decent parallel.
Right. It's not quite that extreme, but that's kind of how I hear it as well.
I mean, it might be more extreme. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Also, like, wow, the plan, I guess, is just for Adolin to systematically duel and take shards from all of Alethkar's shard bearers.
Yeah. It seems like the meeting was
he's
kind
like,
of
hey.
Kind of a
30 of them.
plan, you know? Like, get Adolin to start dueling people to win their shard plate and their shard blades, and then a whole political campaign to recruit some of the smaller high princes to unify, and then question mark, profit, you know?
Yep, there's 30 shard blades out there, and Adolin, Adolin is gonna go just try to take everyone via dueling.
Yeah.
Which he's pretty hyped about.
Right.
Also, every time Kaladin comments on Adolin, it's just like, oh wow, he's kind of a dick, huh? Like, just in passing, we're just hearing like Kaladin's
he's
commentary.
Definitely spoiled and cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of makes sense though, right? Because right now you have all of these individual camps around who are like, well, I'm part of this whole, you know, we're a unified kingdom because it's convenient for me and I'm profiting off of it, right?
Right.
But it seems like there's kind of this vibe where all of them are like, well, I don't need this kingdom though, right? Yeah. We could go back to all being independent; it would be no big deal. Mm-hmm. So Dalinar is just like trying to take that option away from them, right? Yeah. Like make it so that the kingdom is what has the power, not the princes themselves, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah, and this all kind of comes from Kaladin suggesting disarming them somehow, you know.
Well, I think that this was Dalinar's plan from the start.
Right, yeah, but I mean, it goes along with that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, literally taking away like their strongest weapons and defenses, kind of.
Yeah, and it'll be nice for Adolin to finally be useful. You know,
that'll be great.
We went through a whole book where he didn't do anything of value, and now it's time for him to maybe actually do something. Right.
It's funny when in the last section, Shallan was like, "What can I offer Adolin? Like, kind of nothing." I'm like, Adolin's not that great.
I mean, don't go assuming that Adolin's like got the goods, right?
Because, yeah.
Also, at the end of this meeting, like a bunch of stuff has just changed like crazy. Very tumultuous time. In these war camps, and Dalinar's like, oh, by the way, also reforming the Radiance. You know,
that's like the last thing. He just
don't want to sit on that. Let's just get that. Let's just air that right now.
And everybody's like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's like, oh, I kind of have Radiance powers. Is he talking about me? I hope not.
Yeah. Also, Kaladin had some line where he was like, oh, he's going to fail unless he had help. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm like, ooh, is Kaladin planning? Is he considering maybe being that help?
Right, maybe giving him his secret.
But then several chapters pass, and well, you know.
You're right. Yeah.
You got anything else in that chapter?
Let's see. He kind of wants to reallocate like his army, you know. So he's gonna bring his previous honor guard into the army, and more bridgemen kind of into that role, so that he can kind of recoup some of his lost numbers. But pretty much the same kind of general impression that Kaladin is taken to Dalinar a little bit, but he's still keeping him at arm's length in a way.
Oh, also one more thing. At the end of during the reading last week, he was trying to convince Bridge 4 that, oh yeah, we should protect Dalinar, right? That's the thing we should do. Check. And they were all like, ooh, why? Gross, right? Right. And I think Moash and Scar especially were like, they were giving him pushback, right? And we know Moash hates Light Eyes, and he eventually convinced them that, okay, well, it's at least important to keep specifically Dalinar alive, despite his eye color. I know it's a pain, right?
Yeah.
And now Dalinar is like, okay, actually, I want you to protect not just me, but Navani, my sons, and the king, right?
Right, yeah.
But, like, what incentive? It was so hard for Kaladin to convince his bridgemen just to protect Dalinar, you know?
Yeah.
What incentive have they to also keep a close eye on the king or any of these other light eyes? Like, especially Moash. I don't know if I trust him.
Yeah.
With these other people's safety.
So suspicious of Moash this whole time. I'm just waiting for his inevitable betrayal now.
Yeah, well, I mean, me too, John.
But yeah, no, we'll see how that goes. Because I mean, really, the only way he convinced them to protect Dalinar was more just kind of like a because I said so, and I'm Kaladin, you know.
Yeah.
I think that was really the thing that kind of convinced him.
We had never. Oh wait, I have to do the voice again. We had never considered that there may be Parshendi spies hiding among our slaves. This is something else I should have seen.
So Parshendi can disguise themselves as Parshmen? Because it seems like they look pretty... I mean, they look similar, but there are enough differences, I thought, to make it pretty obvious.
The Parshmen don't appear to be wearing armor. The Parshendi have that grown, like, armor carapace.
Right, exoskeleton thing, yeah. Uh-huh.
So how
are they
describe themselves?
And like, I don't know, I always I don't think this is ever said exactly, but I always picture the Parshmen as just being like different physiologically a little bit, like they look the same, but they're more like kind of like hunched over or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure that's been described to us in greater detail, but the carapace armor is the one detail I'm sure. That's the one difference I'm certain of between them, right?
Yeah, that's the only one I'm certain of as well.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the Parshmen wear baggy clothes, although I don't think it's been said that they do. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know how they hide among the slaves, but I guess maybe we'll find out.
Yep.
Okay. We're on a boat. Shallan is studying the Lyspren pattern.
Her cryptic,
The cryptic,
She's named him Pattern, yeah.
And he, like, somehow pulls her back into a memory where she was back in her father's garden. There was a pattern drawn on the ground. It was, for some reason, traumatic for her. And then she went and talked to a sailor, her friend Yalb, right? Who was like, "Hey, how do you do that stuff with the light over there, huh?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "The deck turned green, didn't it? Oi, mate, I'm a pirate."
I knew you were going to say "didn't it" at the end of that
Didn't
sentence.
it? Oi,
didn't
yeah,
it?
in it.
Yeah, having a go at me. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was
weird. It turns out that Shallan can, like, summon illusions or something.
Yeah, Yesna was saying that her, the order that is also the soul casting order, but the different one from Yesna, might be able to deal with light. There are potentially people called light weavers or something.
Yep, she brought it to her in light weavers. She said that Shallan's things were soul casting and illumination.
Right, yeah. So Shallan is Lux.
Shallan is Lux from League of Legends.
Yep.
A good reference to make on a book club podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Pattern says that he says, "Ooh, that was a good lie." I'm trying to copy.
Oh yeah, I'm curious what Kramer's voice is.
No, this isn't Michael Kramer. This is Kay Redding. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
Oh right, because it's Shallan's chapters. Yeah.
So Pattern. It's like, "Oh, this was a good lie." It's like a little bit wavery. It's like I'm overdoing it. I'm warbling too much. It's just a little
warbly, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Food. What is food? It's like very like it's weird.
That is weird. That's not at all. I mean, it's hard to know because obviously I feel like I have voices in my head, but when I think of how I would say them out loud, it's harder to do. But his has always been like
the way this voice is described, it just doesn't in my head. Pattern. I imagine if I were reading this in my head, Pattern would not be making very human sounds, right?
Yeah, no, it's
because it's like a buzzing. It's like vibrations or something.
Yeah, it's been kind of like a wispy sort of just like it's just like just like little weird things going on. Yeah, when he says like lies or whatever, he's like, "Ooh, good lies."
Yeah. So he says Yalb. Yalb told a good lie. She's like, what's the difference between a good lie and a bad lie? And he says that good lies are like shadows cast by the truth. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And she was like, that's a contradiction. He's like, I don't know how things work.
Yeah. So I think that's funny as well. She makes notes about how, like, yeah, he instantly understands concepts revolving around truth and lies, but, like, he just cannot get what food is, you know? Like,
right, yeah.
So that stuff comes really naturally to him.
There's a really funny part in the chapter that was, kind of one of those moments where it's like Brandon Sanderson is speaking directly to you, I feel like. Where he was like, pattern looked like a light from a crystal on a wall, except it was black, so not really light, and I guess it was 3D, so not on a wall, so really not like that at all. And I was like, all right. I mean, I thought it was a good description, and then he just tore it apart. I was like, that was a weird, narrative device there.
Yesna shows Shallan a picture of the 10 spheres, the double eye of the Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
She lists all the various things that there are 10 of, the essences, the soul castings. No, what are they called? Surge bindings.
Oh, yeah.
No, essences, surge bindings, etc.
Right.
And it's like this infinity sign, it sounds like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the two eyes.
Sideways hourglass. I don't remember.
Around it. Yeah, I know. Have it,
and it sounded like that was a nice little diagram of all of the surge bindings, and we mentioned you could draw them on a circle with lines around them, right?
Right, yeah.
It sounds like this is that, except the circle's been twisted a bit, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this picture in the book, is what I want to know.
Oh,
did you see,
I have not
in the book, is there a picture of this double eye of the Almighty?
Let me check.
I want to see this.
It's right over here. Take a look.
Also, Yasna reveals that there's another reason they're going to the Shattered Plains, and that's because she suspects there is a secret about Urithiru hidden there somewhere. Not Urithiru itself, but maybe a path to Urithiru. She has heard somewhere in her research that this path can only be used by a Radiant.
Right,
But she has concerns that they're not, even though they
close
can do
enough,
surge bindings, they're not actually Radiants. Yeah.
There does not appear to be a picture of that.
And lastly, she gives Shallan a book, which she thinks may guide her.
Right,
and this book, it's another titular book within a book, John.
Oh, and it's the word. It's titled, Words of Radiance, not the words. All just words.
Yes, Words of Radiance.
I keep doing that. The in-book book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
You ever use the word titular, John?
No, not really.
Well, maybe you
off
should.
the top of my head, I don't even know what that means.
It's somewhat... Here, let me just read you the description.
Yeah.
The definition. Holding or constituting... Wait. Denoting a person or thing from whom or which the name of an artistic work or similar is taken.
Okay.
There are actually more definitions for titular.
I was going to say, that is not what I thought it was.
The first one is like being a figurehead. So you could be a titular ruler. It means that you hold no actual power.
Okay.
Huh. No, I was using it to mean, it's the name of the book. The book is the name of the book.
Okay. All right. If you say so.
Okay. Anything else from that chapter for you?
Yesna's super terrified of something, which she doesn't really let on exactly what it is, which freaks Shallan out a little bit. Yesna's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. I was also just kind of speculating, they're talking more about the music of the Parshendi and the Parshmen, and how they, if the Parshmen wanted to rise up, TM or whatever, like they could,
hive mind.
Yeah, communicate wordlessly with the song or whatever. And I was like, I wonder if that flute thing that Hoyd gave to Kaladin has anything to do with that, Just another.
Yeah, what happened to that, dude?
Yeah, it's not mentioned again. Like
it's just vanished.
Right, yeah. Like where was it on his bridge runs? Yeah, I'm curious to see when that comes up. Yeah, I think that's all that I have otherwise though.
All right. I was unprepared for the grief my loss brought, like an unexpected rain, breaking from a clear sky and crashing down upon me. Gavilar's death years ago was overwhelming, but this nearly crushed me.
Oh. So my first two notes for this is note, uh-oh, somebody dies. Next note, oh, it's Yesna. That sucks.
Yeah, like, for this one, the thing is, as I read through everything, I try to think about it like, what would I have thought if this were my first time reading the book?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And with this one, I'm immediately like, oh my god, is Dalinar gonna die? Right? And it's because she draws the parallel specifically with Gavilar, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I was like, holy
I was like, oh boy, who's it gonna be? And then it's very quickly revealed because they're on the ship, and Shalana's asleep, and then she wakes up to screaming and the smell of burning, and then she opens her door, and Yesna's body is just like dragged out, and he's like, make sure she's dead, and they like stab her through the chest one more time, and you're like, whoa, okay, she is
and
very dead.
This is one of those non-debatable on-screen deaths.
Which
is one of those.
Like, that's not really, I don't know, Brandon Sanderson is not one to kill off major characters, you know, like, this really caught me by surprise.
Yeah, that was a little bit whack, wasn't it? Yikes. But I mean, it's kind of, you know, Yasna is Shallan's mentor, right? Mm-hmm. Shallan is clearly a more main character than Yasna is. You can tell because she's the one who's narrating so often.
She has the viewpoint. Yeah.
And this is kind of an archetypal sort of thing to do, right? In Star Wars, it was Yoda.
Yeah.
In Aragon, it was Braun. Was that his name? Braun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you have some mentor who is training up your hero really good, and they're not quite done, but they've equipped them with a lot of knowledge, and then they die.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And now your character can no longer just depend on the strength of their mentor. They have to actually like rise to the occasion.
Yep.
And go be a hero or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is kind of archetypal.
Right. This is Shallan's moment.
This is her moment. Also, Pattern is like, the sword, kill them all, you know?
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
And she's like, no, God, no, anything else. And he's like, you could use illumination then, I guess.
Yeah. This was whack to me because Syl was like, ooh, gross, shard blades, I hate those. Mm-hmm. So I kind of assumed this was a thing Spren don't like shard blades. Mm-hmm. But now here's another Spren who apparently has no issue at all with shard blades. So that might be an honor Spren thing or just a Syl thing. I don't know. Yeah,
it seems like we already know that, and kind of from a later chapter too, that honor Spren and cryptics are obviously at odds with each other. So it makes sense that his first instinct is like, cut them down.
Yeah. She does her magic illusion magic. Mm-hmm. Which is cool.
Right, sends a little running copy of herself out of the room, and they all chase after it.
Also, there was some line that made me think, like, has she had these illumination powers, like, since she was young? I don't remember what the line was exactly. But has she had these illumination powers since she was young, and she's just, like, repressed them or something?
Maybe, because it seems like that... I don't know, that vision she had back to the grass where she saw the pattern, I was like, well, he's been around a while, you know, but they haven't, kind of like Syl was around for a while, so, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't think so, like, I can't...
Well, Kaladin may have had some of his powers back when he was a young lad in Amaram's army as well, for all we know, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, frankly... He did just survive a lot of stuff where a lot of other people died, so maybe he's always been doing just a little bit of Stormlight, you know, buffing himself up.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, could be. So
then I write rest in peace, sailor friends, because they're getting executed one after the other.
Yeah, literally just one by one. It's confirmed that these are Ghost Bloods, you know, that spooky anti-Yesna group. No surprise there.
Yes. So they're the ones. They came. They boarded the ship. They assassinated Yesna.
Yep. And so Shallan's like, oh, geez, what do I do? Everything is terrible. I gotta soul cast the bottom of the boat, give them, you know, chaos. Like, that's my best chance of having them escape. And she's like, Pattern, can we soul cast the bottom of this boat? And he's like, I don't even know what you're saying right now.
I don't know why you're saying bottom of the boat. She does the whole freaking boat.
Well, yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, her plan was to do the bottom, but yeah, it didn't quite work out that way.
Yep, she goes back into Shadesmar, and she lands not in a big sea of marbles like the last time, but on an obsidian landmass.
Yep.
She finds the marble that represents the boat.
Yeah, Pattern's like, I'll help you out once we get there, but you got to get there yourself.
Yep.
And she gets there, and Pattern's a simple-headed boy, and he's more sophisticated.
After a lot of hard work and determination and whatnot, she does convince the boat to stop being a boat.
Yep.
Which causes everyone to drop into the ocean.
I thought it was kind of...
I write here as well. She sees little lights, like little tiny flames that represent people's minds, right? Is there a way to somehow extinguish somebody's mind from within the cognitive realm?
Maybe. That would be OP.
And that would be very OP, yes. Also, I write, as far as I'm aware, you don't like teleport, like your body does not go into the cognitive realm, right?
Yeah.
As far as I understand it, from back when she was showing off to Yasna, see, I can go to the cognitive realm, back in the library in Carbranth. I think she just like fell unconscious standing up in that alcove, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
So, what happens, I wonder, if your body is killed in the physical realm while your mind is in the cognitive realm? Or if your mind is killed in the cognitive realm while you're... What happens is it like the Matrix? Yeah. Wait, no, if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. So, yeah, is it like that? Or like... I don't know.
Right,
I don't know.
How does that work? Yeah, that's interesting. I thought it was kind of fun when she, has to like, so she picks up the marble that represents the ship, and she's like, well, the ship doesn't really have a mind, but it's all of the like people's thoughts of the ship, right? But then she has to like kind of bargain with the ship. She's like, I think you should turn it into water. He's like, I want to be a ship, and she's like, it's the only way to save all the people that treated you so well. And he's like, I don't really want it. She's like, it's the only way. He's like, okay, I'll turn it into water.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a fun little way to do that. But yeah, it works.
And then everyone splashes into the ocean. She did very good. Some of the sailors may or may not have survived.
Right.
But that's all I got for that chapter.
She doesn't know because she gets yoinked by something wraps around her leg, pulls her deeper into the water.
It's the Xanthid. Hooray!
Hooray.
Oh, spoilers. Okay. Yep. I seek not to use my grief as an excuse, but it is an explanation. People act strangely soon after encountering unexpected loss, yada yada yada. So basically, this whole bit is just Navani being like, "Oh man, I was really, it's not my fault. I was emotionally compromised. Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
We don't gain any good information from that, really.
Nope.
Now we are at Dalinar. He's doing one of his joint plateau assaults that he is now deemed are a thing.
With
it's his army, and some other high prince I already forgot the name of.
Yeah, Aladar is how I assume it's pronounced.
Sure. So he's just up there, just watching, just like giving advice and whatnot. And he's like, oh, yep, everyone is going to have to start doing what the king does real soon. And Aladar's like, why? I don't want to. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah. And Dalinar's like, well, because you're going to get possibly murdered if you don't. And Aladar's like, Aladar just says the word threats. And Dalinar just looks at him and says, yes. And right now, John, there are memes on the internet. I don't know if you've seen these. But it's one person saying, like, wah, you can't just do blank, 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 right? And then it's just it's like this very Chad, like, face that just says, like, the word yes or no, Right. And it's like, these memes are pretty good. They're pretty good memes. Right. So this, Dalinar did that meme without even knowing him.
I've not seen that meme format. I'm out of the loop.
You know what, John? I'm gonna make that meme and I'm gonna post it to Creme posting, and
Perfect.
it's gonna blow up. Yeah,
that's great. All right. It's weird how little I've been just like on the internet in general since my PC broke. Now I'm just like, well,
what have you been doing?
It's I've been watching more things on YouTube because I can just hook my laptop up to the TV. But
all of my videos, I presume.
Oh yeah, exclusively.
Just on a loop, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to like focus more on getting all my stuff unpacked, and I want to get that whiskey series we talked about on our other channel, or our other podcast rather, Sam and John, Sam's Book Club, but I gotta get that webcam from you and watch the little tutorial.
Yep, I'm mailing that your way tomorrow. Should be there by the by our next time to record on Friday.
Excellent, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to get my little set up, trying to get some LED strips for the bar behind me. But anyway.
Oh, nice. All right. Also, we see the Parshendi Shard Bearer watching from a distance again, not participating in the fight, as well as some other like Parshendi troops who are just like hanging back, observing, right?
Yeah.
And these are things that we have already been mentioned in Navani's letters, in Navani's notes that we started reading earlier in the chapter. So it's like, again, not really new information, but now the High Princes are starting to actually observe this being a thing.
Yeah, now we see it's happening, yeah.
And yeah, as we approach, now 60 days left on that death timer. So yeah, we got a couple of months for these Parshendi to start acting weirder and weirder before all hell breaks loose.
And Dalinar, in the meantime, he's trying to figure out how he can correct the childish behavior of the High Princes while also gaining their loyalty at the same time. And he's like, well, I can't just threaten them into submission. That won't really work. And he does this kind of fun thing where Aladar tells his army to do something, and Dalinar's like, they might do this. I would probably do this in your position. He's like, I have the last say, Aladar says, And Dalinar's like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just observing. And Aladar's like, okay, do Dalinar's thing, and then it works. And he's like, all right, I hate that you're good at that. And he's like, I would be good at unifying the kingdoms. And Aladar's like, I want to trust you, but I can't, Like, all the other High Princes are the ones that
he basically says, like, I could trust you. It's everyone else I'm worried about.
Right, it's the other High Princes, yeah. And so he's like, I want to trust you, but I can't, be loyal to you in this venture because all the other High Princes are too, a bigger force against me, kind of.
He also gets a letter right at the end. Navani's going to read it to him. And it's from an old friend who's going to arrive soon and who might provide a solution to Dalinar's problems.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I wonder who that is. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was interesting from this was Dalinar keeps saying, he's like, I'm a warrior, not a politician. I can't figure this out. And he's like, well, it's my task to unify him, so I guess I got to just rise to the occasion. I got to learn how to be a politician.
Yep. No point in complaining. Just got to buckle down and get to work.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I wish to think that had I not been under Sorrow's thumb, I would have seen earlier the approaching dangers. Yet in all honesty... Ooh, should I make her voice wacky? No, I won't. I'm not sure anything could have been done. She's just whining again. I guess we know where Elokar gets it from. Syl says that she's seen Spren like red lightning. Storm Spren? Void Spren. The Void Spren is my note. Oh, yeah, she calls them Storm Spren, maybe.
Yep, no, that was the impression I got as well. She kind of jokes with Kaladin because he's like, these things don't follow natural laws. And Syl's like, there are no natural laws, just agreement among friends. But we got to keep it consistent. Otherwise, you guys would, your brains would explode.
Yeah, we'll blow your tiny minds.
Yeah, that's
he's like, what? Or so you can come up with a lie about something or whatever. Oh, when he was asking, are there more people like me? And she was like, I knew you would ask this. He says, oh, you've had time to think about it. Maybe you came up with a lie. And she says, lie? What do you think I am? A cryptic? No. And it's like, whoa, hey, we know that word.
Yeah,
we know those. However, she doesn't. She doesn't even know why she said that.
Right.
So
kind of
she still has things to remember.
The whole setting of this chapter is that Kaladin and Teft have brought some of the new 20-man bridge crews down into the caverns to teach them how to fight. And they're like, look, it's our holy ground where we learned to fight when, we were on Death's Door.
Yeah, they're doing some, it's like a little bit like hazing somehow.
Kind of, it's like a weird, it's like an initiation ceremony for like a frat or something. Yeah.
There are others like you, she says, but I am the only honor spren that has come. I was forbidden. I came anyway. She says she defied the Stormfather to come.
Right, and so it seems like all of these spren that have kind of bonded to people giving them radiant-like powers weren't, supposed to leave because of the whole secret, oath the humans broke that we don't know about, but they came anyway,
Because, Yasna Spren was also not supposed to come. However, Shallan Spren, she was being followed by a whole lot of these symbol faces, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe the cryptics are more, maybe they're more unified about it. I don't know.
Right,
I mean, it seems like they all have their own separate societies, right? So
So they're probably a little bit different about it,
yeah. Yeah. Syl says to Kaladin, "Don't let him search in vain about Dalinar looking for Radiance."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Syl really, come on, Kaladin, you can do it. And then Kaladin replies, "But Syl, I'm so edgy."
Right. And Syl's like, "I know, you'll get over it."
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, she just kind of talks about how she like knew she had to leave Shadesmar to find her like host in Kaladin so that she could start regaining her memories and like realize she was an honor spren, but she was a windspren because it made it easier to
back in Shadesmar, she probably had her memories.
Right. Yeah, once she
just like Pattern does. When Pattern's in Shadesmar, he's smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting how it's like, how do they, what realization do they have in Shadesmar to realize they have to like go to find their person or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. The world ended. Oh wait, do you have more on that chapter?
Nope, I was just checking to see, but that's pretty much it.
The world ended and Shallan was to blame. Here we have a little 2-minute flashback.
Yeah. This chapter was like a page and a half. I was like, whoa, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is 6 years ago. This is back when freaking Gavilar was getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, poor little Shallan appears to have just murdered a big room of people, including maybe her mom.
Yeah, she's like 11.
Yep.
And just killing people with a shard blade because, or at least her mom she killed with a shard blade because they flipped her over so she wouldn't have to look at the terrible burnt out eyes.
Oy vey.
Yikes.
Yeah, it really does sound like Shallan murdered all these people, huh?
Right. And her dad's like, "Hey, great job. Let me sing you a kind of, creepy lullaby this whole chapter."
Yeah, I'm just going to read the lullaby because it is kind of creepy, and lullabies sometimes have secrets in them. Like children's songs and stuff are sometimes about actual things,
Yeah.
"Now go to sleep in chasms deep with darkness all around you. Though rock and dread may be your bed, so sleep, my baby dear. Now comes the storm that you'll be warm, the wind will rock your basket, the crystal fine will glow sublime, so sleep, my baby dear. And with a song it won't be long, you'll sleep, my baby dear." Wow, this doesn't sound like going to sleep. It sounds like going to sleep in the song is a euphemism for dying.
Yeah, right? It does, yeah. Like all of the like little settings.
In chasm with storms coming.
Yeah, it sounds like all of these places are bad places to be.
Yeah.
To go to sleep.
Oy vey. I don't know.
Shallan's father's super creepy, super weird, as we have postulated. He also has a strong box with something in it that's dangerous and that glows.
Is that her shard blade that he has now put in there? But
I don't know. Because they don't let off light, because she was saying like light was coming from the cracks around the edges or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's in there.
Yeah, no idea.
Either way, now we know what memory Shallan is suppressing.
Mm-hmm. Can't really blame her too much.
In part, at least.
Yeah. Also, I noticed that Shallan's, so I showed you way back in the day how every time a chapter comes up, there's like a little symbol for what character it is. Mm-hmm. Shallan's is now different, and it looks like, it's like it clearly is a symbol representing pattern. It's like, it used to just be a circle with I don't know, it's just like a weird artsy little symbol, but now it's a circle with squiggly lines all about. So that's.
I wonder if other characters' patterns, little symbols will change.
Yeah, Kaladin's
as their stuff.
The same, but yeah. So we'll see.
But understandably, we were focused on Sadeas. His betrayal was still fresh, and I saw its signs each day. As I passed empty barracks and grieving widows, we knew that Sadeas would not simply rest upon his slaughters in pride. More was coming. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Did-a-doo. Did-a-doo. Alright, Shallan is washed up on shore, and she's real sick and just not feeling good. Mm-hmm. Xanthid saved her. Hey, thanks, big jellyfish.
He kind of put her on a rock near some land because he couldn't get too much closer, presumably because it got too shallow.
Because his tentacles go down deep.
Yeah,
so the Xanthid saved her, which leads me to believe that without the Xanthid's intervention, she probably would have died.
Yep.
Which makes me think that because none of the other sailors had xanthan intervention, they are probably all dead.
Yeah, probably.
That's kind of my line of thinking on that one.
Yep.
Also, guess what else washed ashore?
Oh, the trunk full of Jasna's studies.
A conveniently waterproof trunk.
Yeah.
Full of all of Jasna's books and notes.
I was like, she got awfully lucky, Shallan, in this chapter. Things just kind of work out for her, despite her messing everything up, you know?
Well, nice. I wouldn't say that her boat getting burned down by assassins is her messing things up.
I am victim blaming Shallan in this scenario.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so then she ends up on this island. You know, she swims over to it despite not really knowing how to swim, but she gets over to this bigger landmass.
This landmass.
Yeah. And she's like, "All right, I gotta figure out how to make a fire or something," you know. So she piles up some sticks and things. Has no idea how to do it. She's like, "Well, maybe I can soul cast one of these sticks into fire." And so Pattern's like, yeah, hey, it's worth a shot. And so she goes she kind of goes into Shadesmar. She's like towing the line because the ocean's nearby, which is a problem. It seems like that's, you know, if the ocean being nearby led to the ocean of beads that she could like drown in, you know.
What? No. It was that what is land in the physical realm is the ocean of beads in Shadesmar, and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
So that's why when she was at sea, when she was on the boat and she went to Shadesmar, she landed on land. But when she did it in Carbranth, she landed in the beads.
Okay.
So if she were to stand like right on the shore where the water is just lapping up on her feet or whatever, and go into Shadesmar there, she would probably, the way I understand it, appear standing in just like ankle high beads on a shore of obsidian, right?
Right. Okay. That's good. I did not get that at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was explained.
Okay. Yeah. But in any case, she kind of like toes the line between the planes. She's kind of in both at the same time. While she's trying to... I missed that.
I thought she went fully into Shadesmar.
Oh, no. It was like she... I don't know. It seemed like they kept mentioning she could like see both at the same time a little bit. Maybe that was just because she was like exhausted. Maybe she just wasn't doing it right. I'm not exactly sure, but she's trying to convince...
Speaking of being exhausted, she sees exhaustion sprint in Shadesmar, which are giant freaking birds, very spooky.
Yeah, they
and it makes me wonder...
what are those things called that attack you when you're sleepy in Minecraft? That's what I thought of.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows what you mean.
You're right. Yeah.
So, at first I was thinking like, would have been a pretty good time to teach Shallan about Shadesmar, right?
Yeah.
When they were on the boat, when they were at sea, and they could have just dropped onto nice, safe obsidian anytime they wanted to, right? Mm-hmm. But then these giant exhaustion birds come swooping down, and I'm like, well, maybe there are other dangers. Maybe there's more than just drowning in beads.
Right, to be afraid of, yeah.
I'm
Syl
sure
even said Shadesmar was super dangerous to go into.
Yeah, just knowing Brandon Sanderson, I'm sure that Shadesmar is like a surprisingly dense, varied world of its own.
Oh,
right?
Surely, yeah.
Yeah.
So Shallan tries to convince the stick to turn into fire, and he keeps saying, "I am a stick."
Yes, it's like the boat, but different.
Right.
And she eventually gives up, and she's gonna die. Oh no! But she sees a light in the distance. This is in the physical realm, and she crawls towards it. She walks towards it first, but then her legs don't have enough strength, so she crawls. And then she falls unconscious, and she's gonna die for sure.
But then she doesn't. Makes it into a campfire area.
Because the light she saw in the distance was not the sweet, inviting light of the afterlife.
Yeah.
It was actually a campfire belonging to none other than Tvlakov.
Tvlakov. So
our good friend, Kaladin's previous slave owner.
His former slaver.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So she sleeps through the night at this campfire. She wakes up in the morning, and they're like, "Hey, we're about to head out. Are you okay?" Like you kind of.
She's like, "I shall allow you to carry me to the Shattered Plains.
I will let you assist me." And they're like, "What, huh?" And then she's like, "I have a trunk over there." That really is not.
That's bad for us. That's a bad deal. And she's like, Can you believe what this imbecile is saying to me?
Right, yeah.
No,
She's
you will
like,
take me to the plains.
She's not so condescending. She's like, oh wait.
No, yeah, I'm
not,
overdoing it.
Well, no,
by a
she even
country
says,
mile.
she's like, yes is not this condescending. Let me change it up a little bit. And they're like, we're going to lose profit going up that way. She's like, that is a small price for me. It's fine. I'll pay you. Just take me where I want to go.
Exactly, please. So, like, she's suspicious of them, but she's trying to employ her fancy Yasna magic, where you pretend you're very important all the time, and it works.
Yep.
And yeah, it does actually work. My note is simply, well, that was easy.
Yeah. Yeah, she got real lucky in this chapter in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah. You know, out of all of the possible outcomes of your boat being burned down by murderous assassin folks,
Yeah.
this ended pretty well for her.
Right.
There were a lot of worse paths this could have gone down.
Mm-hmm. This is truly the brightest timeline.
This is really good, yeah. Unfortunately, we fixated upon Sadia's plotting so much that we did not take note of the changed pattern of our enemies, the murderers of my husband, the true danger. I would like to know what wind brought about their sudden inexplicable transformation. I feel like all of Navani's notes in this last part of part 1 are very redundant. I feel like this is all information we already had.
Yeah,
and
she's
not
like,
very
I can't believe that there were Parshendi hiding among us. It's kind of my fault. Did you guys know that the Parshendi were hiding among the Parshmen? I couldn't have seen that coming, but it's kind of my fault.
I sure do feel bad for not noticing sooner. Oh, shut up, Navani.
Right,
Up to this point, every single beginning of chapter note or whatever has been like the good kush. Like I live for those, you know.
Right, yeah.
And then Navani comes and she just ruins it.
Takes a giant dump.
Come on.
Yeah.
She takes a big steaming dump.
I mean, there was like Yesna's research, which we were kind of given in other ways, you know, back in book 1. Those were the least.
At least with that, I felt like we were getting little clues.
Right, we
know,
were still getting some fun little nuggets, but now it's just
but with all this
a
just feels
pile.
useless.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Rock. Okay, now they're down and they're testing Kaladin's abilities, and he can hold a rock to a wall for 87 seconds. Very good, very cool. It turns out Rock is a very good fighter.
Yeah.
They're like sparring, and Rock is like doing crazy stuff.
Right, he's like keeping up with Kaladin despite the Stormlight.
He insists that sparring is okay, but he insists he's not actually a fighter. This is an exception to the rule. He's not going to fight.
He's the wrong
because
child.
He insists that a third son does not fight. That's only for the fourth son and below. Yeah.
Part of his horn-eater culture.
So that sucks because, man, it seems like Rock would be a bit of an asset in all this
he just,
bodyguarding against a bunch of assassins, huh?
He just swings a tree trunk at Kaladin, and he's like, how can he do that?
It's like you have a well-rounded D&D party, and you have your barbarian, and your barbarian's like, I'm actually a pacifist, and you're like, really?
What?
Because we could kind of use.
Yeah, he's like, no, I put all my points in charisma. I'm like, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm playing this weird variant of barbarian where you actually don't have the rage feature.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's identical.
Yeah, whenever I rage, I actually get bonuses to intelligence and charisma.
Yeah. There's a line from Teft about how the Orders of Radiance didn't always get along, despite what the stories say or whatever. So I'm sure more on that later.
Yep. And so Sigil's taking all these measurements, but he's like, I don't really know how to experiment. My master just told me to like be very precise about things, but how am I supposed to? How do we know how much Stormlight's in a thing at any given time? How much has leaked since it was last infused, you know? And then,
he's like, I don't even have a freaking clock, and it's like, well, sounds like Dalinar will kind of give you guys anything you want right now, so maybe you could have a clock.
And Lopin was like, stick me to a wall, can you do that? Let's just try doing weird stuff.
Yeah, and he can't. It turns out that Kaladin's ability to stick stuff to other stuff actually has a lot of combat potential.
Yeah. Super useful. Yeah. And he was kind of like, he was trying it, and it was a little awkward just because he wasn't used to it, but he was making use of it. So, like, if he can just practice it more, he can certainly incorporate that into his retinue of other combat abilities.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff.
I get the feeling that just like in Mistborn, where everything is what is it? Iron enhanced. He did an iron enhanced blank, or a in Mistborn,
yeah.
Everything was like a blank enhanced whatever.
Sure, I think I know.
I get the feeling that in this series, we're going to start getting the adjective Stormlight infused, just like 24/7. Everything.
Right.
In combat, it's going to show up like 100. Like, we could do a drinking game where just during combat scenes, we just read combat scenes, and every time they say Stormlight infused, that's a shot.
Right. Yeah, I'm
right?
sure that,
and
like, you know, Brandon Sanderson, he's like, you know what's happening. Here's the terminology that explains that. Let's all just save some time here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'm sure you're right. And that's that whole chapter. Nothing else happens. Weird.
No, pretty much.
Really,
there was a line about they were dead because of something Teft himself had done. This wasn't a truth gifted to us by Brandon Sanderson. This was Kaladin's suspicion. Yeah, it was like based on the look of it in his eyes when he talked about this old, the people Teft used to hang out with, the Radiance club that he was a part of.
Yeah, the fan club. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's that whole chapter. No fun secrets revealed, no big cliffhangers, nothing at all.
Yep. And then nobody showed up to the Shattered Plains at all. Oh, wait a minute. No, John, I have a note here after all.
Oh, what?
Oh, wait, there was a smudge on my screen covering it up. Let me just...
enhance.
Oh,
Computer,
no,
enhance.
John. Oh, you are not going to be happy about this, dude.
Oh, what?
God. Do you remember Amaram?
God! Damn it!
Do you remember Amaram, John?
Yeah.
He showed up to the Shattered Plains.
Oh, jeez.
And Kaladin...
Well, at least he's not friends with Kaladin.
Ran up and he saw Amaram in a very chummy embrace with Dalinar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember how Kaladin was kind of looking for like any little excuse to not trust Dalinar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
Oh no.
Here it is. Literally Kaladin's least favorite person on the entire planet, except for maybe the guy that got his brother killed.
This is not good.
No, this is big bad. Very good end to book 1, though. Very exciting.
Whew.
I'm like, Kaladin's just gonna kill him on sight. Like,
yeah, this is not. I mean,
this is not gonna be nice. This is gonna be, and like, what's Amaram gonna say? Like, obviously he remembers Kaladin because he's the whole reason he has a Shardblade, which is what he's talking about when Kaladin shows up.
Yeah, all right. Let's take bets right now. Trust me, this is a small enough detail. I do not remember what happens here, so this would be legitimate.
All right.
All right, we don't even get to see what happens between these guys right away. We have 3 interludes first.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that, A, Kaladin is going to somehow duck away before Amaram has a chance to see him?
Mm-hmm.
B, Amaram is going to see him and stay totally cool and collected? Or C, Amaram is going to see him and there's going to be a flicker of fear in his eyes as his jaw slackens ever so slightly, or something like that,
Yeah.
What's your guess?
A combination of B and C, where he's gonna like see him and know like he's in trouble, but not play it cool in front of Dalinar. And then...
it'll be like a little tick that only Kaladin catches.
Yeah.
That's your guess?
That's my bet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually they're gonna have to settle their bets. Yeah, that seems like the safest answer. But eventually there's something gonna go down between them.
Next time, John,
Mm-hmm.
we are gonna read the interludes. Ishik. We had Ishik earlier. He was at the Pure Lakes, right?
I think so, yeah.
Non-Balat, which is
one of
Shallan's brother, who is ripping the legs off of that little crab.
Goodness.
And the last interlude is simply titled The Glory of Ignorance, which is not the name of a character. Okay,
that's interesting,
so that's kind of whack.
Huh.
And then we are reading another 4 chapters up through chapter 15, The Decoy.
Okay. How many sections, how many reading sections will this part be?
Part 2 is going to be divided up into 3 sections.
Okay.
And this first one is just under 30,000 words, which is about the same length as this last one we just did. So
I think this one was over 30.
This last one was 28,000 according to what I have here.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm such an idiot, John.
Yeah.
Everything I just told you was from that was from book 1. So ignore all that. Forget all that. Okay.
All right.
We're going to read the interludes.
Yeah.
Narak, Eam, just YM.
Okay.
Risen and Last Legion, as well as the chapters. Oh, Risen. That's the merchant girl
we have had before. Yeah.
As well as the chapters, The Day's Masterpiece, Iron Stance, A Hand with the Tower, and Swordmaster.
Okay. So what? Okay. What chapter is that?
And all of those are just a smidgen over 30,000 words. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
Up through chapter 16.
16. All right. Gotcha.
All right, John.
Coolio.
Let's get this dumb show over with. If we
Yeah.
stop it right now, John, we'll be 30 seconds short of an hour.